Anyway, hello everybody, another story time. This time I'm doing Steven Universe AU because, so why not? Anyway, for clarification, in this universe there are actually 5 different, essentially, goddesses of the gem race. The diamonds follow these 5 like nuts, because these 5 on their own, can completely obliterate the entire gem race across the entirety of the universe. All 5 of them means they're even more powerful. Anyway, onto the story. A special gem had been watching Steven Universe for quite a long while now. It was supposed to be her job, but it felt less like a job and more like a hobby. The boy was interesting. She was told to watch over this boy because he was half human, half gem, and apparently the eldest of the 5 ability sisters, which was essentially their gods, had told the diamonds not to harm the boy. And she was there to make sure that they didn't accidentally touch him. Without realizing it was the human gem boy. She disliked the pearl and the fusion quite a lot, but quite enjoyed the amethyst. Her reasoning was because the amethyst was a rarity, just like she. Unlike she, though, amethyst was not something that was ever aimed for. In fact, it was disliked. The diamonds would go absolutely nuts when they found a cat's eye, star, or a perfect gem, as these were quite rare and very hard to find. She was a cat's eye aquamarine, and she had been watching Steven from day one. She had watched him for so long, she knew practically everything about him. She knew about his favorite shows. She knew about the annoyances, but the easiness of getting past the pearl and the garnet. That fusion. Why she didn't like the fusion? Simply because she had seen the fusion experiments of yellows and weren't too keen on the idea of fusion at all after seeing such beings. Even if this fusion was determined on keeping themselves together, she knew they could separate, and without much problems. Every night, though, when the pearl, garnet, and amethyst were finally away, she would go up to the boy and start singing a little lullaby that she had caught on from the human beings. It was different every night. And every once in a while, Steven would, instead of listening to the song and going completely asleep, would actually wake up, and the two would play a game. One time, Amethyst had actually caught her singing her silly little songs, as the aquamarine was, well, she was supposed to be for the diamonds, but her interest had caught in the realm of human beings, and mostly Steven. "I see you have a new friend?" asked Amethyst when they first saw the cat's eye aquamarine. "Eep! I was not expecting you around," said the aquamarine, backing away a bit. Their wings were a bit different shaped than normal aquamarines, but they were much better at flight. Just need to finish up drawing the character. This is what they look like, by the way. Cat's eye aquamarine. I don't think I spelled her name right. Oh well. The cat's eye aquamarine simply stayed put in the air, suspended. "You guys want to play some dog copter?" asked Amethyst. "It has 4 players. We can play 4-player. And the aquamarine realized that this amethyst wasn't like others, not just because of their shape, and not because they were overcooked. Something that was considered quite rude of a thing to call another gem. similar to clod, which literally meant a lump of dirt. Calling a gemstone a lump of dirt was considered quite rude. But anyway, the three of them played video games until Stephen was too tired to continue. When Pearl heard him yawn, the aquamarine flew out of the building, the little house of theirs. "I'll be back. I come back every night," she said, quietly, flying off. She was always around and watching the boy. There was also another interesting thing about the gem. Normally, a gem's gem was very much exposed and hard to get. This one's, on the other hand, was always covered. Her gemstone was on her shoulder, but it was covered by these little pad things. That way, it would be easier to protect them, as it was harder for the others, or any dangers at all, to try and take that piece out. The very thing that could kill her, being hidden away. She thought of it similar to a human and their heart. It was important for the heart to stay very... Oof, I'm hiccuping now. Just a moment. Sorry about that. I was hiccuping. Anyway, back to the story. She knew that with human beings, their heart couldn't be exposed. If it was, it could be easily punctured and harmed, easily killing the human being. So she thought of it similar with her gemstone. It was covered and harder to find, so it was much more difficult for a gem to kill her. Or really any species at all that was seeking out the death of the gem race. Most species had this in mind, especially when they found any colony of gems. More time passed, and the boy was now about 11 or 12 years old. And the aquamarine now was caught by the garnet. "Hello there," said the garnet, seeing the three of them playing dogcopter. Stephen, the aquamarine, and Amethyst. "Not the fusion," said the aquamarine sadly, covering her left eye more than normal. "I'd better go. I really don't want to be seen by the fusion or the pearl." "What's wrong with me?" asked the garnet. "You just freak me out a bit," said the aquamarine. "I've just seen some weird fusions out there, and, well, seeing you disturbs me. The fact that you can stay together without screeching in pain like the others that I've seen." "What?" said the garnet, confused. Garnet had no clue the aquamarine was talking about fusion experiments that belonged to Yellow, of which the eldest two of the Ability Sisters found disgusting, while the youngest found this amazing, while the other two and the five were neutral to it. "What's so disturbing about a fusion?" asked Garnet. "It's just, you wouldn't get it unless you've seen what I've seen," said the aquamarine. "I'll be going." Said the garnet, walking off, opening up her little door. And the night right after that, the aquamarine didn't show up, which the next morning caused Stephen to be quite worried. "Do you think something happened to her?" asked Stephen. Asked the Amethyst. "I'm worried about, Cat's Eye," Stephen said in a very hushed tone. They didn't call her Aquamarine as she disliked that name. She simply wanted to be called Cat's Eye, as the last one had been shattered. It was a cat's eye cat's eye version of Garnet. It wasn't a fusion like her. It was a single gem. Kind of like Deansite and the others. I'm sure she's fine, said Amethyst. Then Amethyst was called over by Pearl. When Amethyst returned after a conversation with an annoyed-sounding Pearl, Amethyst sat down and said, "Now I really know why they dislike Pearl," joked Amethyst. "But we're not allowed to visit her anymore. She's not allowed to visit us either. Pearl wants us to tell her whenever she shows up." "It's stupid." "I heard that," said Pearl. "And you will tell me when she shows up so we can shoo her away." The Garnet sighed. "You do realize she's not much of a danger, right?" "I still can't be risking anything, Garnet," said Pearl, walking off. The Garnet sighed again and walked after her. That night, the Amethyst did show up, but didn't sing her song this time, but simply left a small little present and flew off. The present said, "To S Universe, from your cat friend." This labeling was normally when Cat's Eye Aquamarine gave them anything, and they didn't want the others to know about it. And the little present said, "Do not open till your 13th birthday." It was supposed to be a little trinket. This trinket was supposedly used to help gems that were a little behind. Not as far as Amethyst was, but gemstones that just need a little push. It wasn't too much of a push. It was just enough to give him the extra power he needed to summon his weapon, so he'd be able to use it by the time he was 13. "Who is your cat friend?" asked Pearl, looking at the small box. "We get a present for her every year." "I really would like to know who she is." Stephen and Amethyst didn't say anything. They knew who she was. "If you're not going to tell me anything," said Pearl, "then I guess we're not going to allow this little present inside, are we? We just had to put it away." "But it's a birthday present," complained Amethyst. "And apparently for human beings, 13's pretty important." "Well, I'm still putting this away. Stephen, you're not getting this. Not until I figure out who this cat friend of yours is." And that night, Pearl wouldn't stay away from Stephen's bed. Anyway, I'm going to continue this in the next vid. See you then, I guess.